Okay, it says I'm live. I haven't been on my channel in forever. It's been like a year, it feels like a long, long time. Um, what's been going on? Quick recap. When I did a video after like 4 months of not really doing videos, I told y'all I was wanting to focus more on my writing. That's true. Um, I had a job where I was watching my nieces and nephews for like a good 6 months. Um, and so that's over, and now I'm at home, and I am a full-time author, but not making a full-time income. Because a lot of times you'll assume full-time author means like you're able to make the money you need off of your writing to stay home and write full-time. That is not the case. Uh, my husband's great with having a stable job. We do not have any expendable income, like at all. But I am a PA, a personal assistant to other authors. So I do that through uh, functionally functional services, which is like an off branch of functionally fictional that my best friend and editor Kate Marie runs. So that's what I've been doing. I've been doing stuff for other authors, and I've also been working on my own projects. I had a really big breakthrough. I definitely was underestimating what I could get done, what like I personally could do. And so I kind of unlocked that in November. Now I heard about all the bad stuff that went down with NaNoWriMo, so I didn't like participate in an official capacity with NaNoWriMo. I did For the Words. They had like a Terranium event that was so much fun. I did use NaNoWriMo for a while for the stats just because they're the best graphs that I've found. Nothing else quite does it the way that I want to see the information. But yeah, definitely not repping Nano anymore, sadly. It's kind of like the Harry Potter thing. Like we can have the nostalgic feelings toward it, and I don't feel the need to throw out all my merch. But yeah, I'm done with Nano. But anyway, it was fun while it lasted before it got corrupted. But yeah, the For the Words has been a big game changer because I like beating the monsters. I like all of the colorful stuff. I like giving wardrobes to my little characters and killing monsters by writing words. And they have a collaborative section of it now where you can challenge other players, and you're all going towards the same like group goal. And if you don't win it as a group, then you just lose. But also one person could do like double the work. So you're really chancing it when you enter those. But some of the quests that you have to fulfill, you have to do the battles. So it encourages you to like not always write alone. So I like that. You don't have to do any quests at all. I have a friend that gets on there every once in a while, and she doesn't do any quests. She literally just writes. And then, if I'm on at the same time, we might battle a monster together. But other than that, she's like not concerned with all the extra bits and bobs with Nano. They do have a free plan now. So if that's you and you're like, I want to test it out, I would just go to For the Words, like the number for the words, .com, and sign up and get an account. I'm not an affiliate or anything, but highly recommend, especially if you've got ADHD. It'll give you something to do. There's timers. I think it works best when you actually do write within the thing itself instead of trying to copy and paste from somewhere else, because the time gives you pressure. And it can also work for if you're wanting to hit really big word counts. So like in November, I really wanted to finish an entire novel. I had already written 15 or 16,000 words or so, and I was like, I feel like I could finish this. So for November, I want to like prove to myself that I'm a real author and I can do it like the bigger authors do, and I can sit there and I could get my butt in the chair and dedicate time to it and write 50,000 words of just the arbitrary number that everyone was kind of going for, having still been used to the nano format. And so when I sit down, I can write 1,500, 1,600, 1,700 words in a sitting. It's no problem. Like that will take me an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes. Getting back into the writing game was a lot slower, so it would take me a long time to get some words, but I finally got where I'm doing really good. And so I had fallen so far behind. I was like 11 days behind, and I was able to catch up. And then I got sick for 8 days with stomach flu, and I failed the challenge. But I did write 34,000 words in a month. And so that might not sound like a lot, but I have been tracking my writing. And so I had written at the beginning of the year every day for 3 months, and my highest month was a little under 17,000. So I literally did double the amount that I had done in my best month all year long, and I had only had like 43,000 words in total for the year. And so I did 34,000 in 1 month after that. So now my total for the year is like 80,000 or something. I'm not sure. I'm going to go check right now because I'm curious. I am going to get to working, but I haven't talked to y'all in forever. So I'm going to kind of catch up for a little bit here. I know some of y'all are curious, like what's been going on? Where have I been? What am I doing? I definitely still want to hang on to the relationships with people that I built on here. I'm just a very focused person, so I haven't been consuming booktube at all. So I'm not a very good friend in the stay up to date type thing. I kind of have to have someone else that's an initiator, and then I'm like, hey, I'm here for you. I'm just like, you have to like pull me. But anyway, so for this month alone, and I have not written in like 4 days. For this month alone, so far, I already have 15,767 words, and I need to write tonight. I only have like 2 chapters left to finish my book. I found a way to condense some of the things in the end. It has a new ending now, it ends sooner. And so I only have like 2 chapters left. And it's like the secret project that no one really knows the full extent of. The only person that does is Britt, who I co-write with. But this is a solo book. We did not co-write it. And it's in a subgenre I haven't done before. And it has some elements from my other books that are out, and it has completely new ones. Okay, so it looks like, yeah. So for this year, right now, I am at 92,737 words. Last year, I only did, and I'm just going to round. Last year, I did almost 56,000. In 2022, I did 62,000. In 2021, I did 96,000. So I'm only 4K away from that. I can definitely do that by the end of the month. And then I did 69,000 in 2020, and I did 135,000 in 2019. So 2019 was my best year, and then the pandemic hit and it was like cut in half. And then I did more, but it was co-writes. Co-writes is what got me those huge words. Yeah, because I wrote in 2019, at the end of 2019, that's when I did a handwritten novel. So that is not the handwritten novel. I don't even think's in here unless I just did scrap words and put it in there just so that I could have the credit. But that was like 23,000 it was like 30,000. I think around 30,000 words. It was handwritten. Yeah, I don't even know if that's in there. And then I did a 55,000 word book. And then I must have also did my 60,000 word. No, I don't. Yeah, I think so, because I had that printed at Staples. Anyway, All I'm saying is that the writing seems to have like took a bit of a fall from 2020 to 2023, and I'm just now getting it up. But like, it's not like I haven't been writing. Like, clearly, those are words. That's like not counting 2020, since I did a co-write for that. But like 2021 through 2023, I believe has all been my solo writing. So if I added all that up, it's like 200,000 words. So that's around the equivalent of 4 small novels. A lot of indie novels are around 50K. I like that. Um, that's like 280 pages ish. At least when I format the books. But so I have been writing. I just haven't really been actually publishing. But I'm glad that I did step away from YouTube, because what was happening was I was using YouTube as an excuse to not write. Writing was always the back burner thing. And then when I had trailed off, I was working 60 hours a week and doing PA stuff. It was just overwhelming. I got to the point towards the end where like the switching to working at home was already planned. And I was having like panic attacks every day. So bad. So, and that was with being on 3 antidepressants at the time and starting my ADHD medication. So I finally have medication for that. But it sucks because I always get sick. And I'm iffy about taking medication while I'm sick. I feel like it'll like be bad on my stomach and organs and stuff. So I just don't, which is not good because I need to consistently be on it for it to work its most effective and me to see how it works. So I'll be off it for like a week while I'm sick and then on it again. And it's hard for me to remember to take it after I've been off it for a while. So that's kind of what's been going on there. But in November, I basically said, no more excuses. We're going to see exactly what our capacity is, because I was trying to plan 2025. And it was so disappointing because I was like, I want to publish more than 2 books. I know that I can do more than that. And so, yeah, when I fell behind 11 days on the challenge, I started writing 3,000 words a day consistently until I caught up. So that was something that I thought of as my like max words per day that I could do like somewhere in the future, because I know myself and I do need to think a little bit and refill the well before writing something like that. But I can write that in like a 3-hour time span or a 4-hour time span if I just get to sit. If I've got 4 hours, I can take little 10-minute breaks and I can do it. So so anyway, it was great. And I was like, yeah, if I stay 3,000 or below, it doesn't have to lead to burnout. But I was also at that point putting writing before everything. So I lost balance with the other stuff that I was trying to do. And so now I am working hard to find that balance. And it's kind of like, all right, if I wake up and I'm like, today's going to be a writing day, then I need to start the writing first thing. And I can have a really high word count. So yeah, but this month kind of took a dive, the last little bit of it. I only wrote 120 words on Thursday, and then I wrote like 800 on Wednesday. Tuesday I did 2,500, and then Monday I did 135. So like I have not done hardly anything. But the first week I did over 12,000. So my goal now that I know my capacity is to do 10,000 words a week. And yeah, I only have today and tomorrow left. And I'm at a little over 3K. So I don't think I'm going to do that this week. I'm just going to get up to what it would have been at the end of 2 weeks, which would be 20K. And I'm almost at 16,000. So I need to do around 2,000 words today and tomorrow, and that will put me on target. I just think 10,000 words a week, that's what I see a professional writer doing. That's like 2,000 words per weekday. A lot of professional writers do half that. So they do like 1,000 or they do 500 words a day and they write every day. Stephen King does 2,000 words a day and he writes every day. Yeah, so 10,000 is the goal, and I really want to hold myself to it because that's 520,000 words a year. If I had tiny novels, that would be like 10 novels. Bigger novels, I think it's like 6. That's every other month. I do not plan to publish that quickly. That would be overwhelming, but I would like to draft that quickly. And I have so many books that I'm halfway through. Some of them I need to rework, and that's why they got shelved. But other ones, I just need to continue. I did get a little beep, and I'd asked my friend if she wanted to get on a video with me. So she just had an idea. All right. She's doing a Christmas story, and she's publishing it as she goes. I am on reamstories.com, like REAM stories.com/heatherdowell, my name. So you can find me on there. I am posting regularly now. I have a schedule for myself to post on there. That's mostly the only social media I'm doing, and that's kind of how I plan to do it for the year, is to just be on Ream and then have my newsletter, like my monthly newsletter for my name and the pen name that I share with BL Kohler. So that's what I plan to do. And then as far as YouTube goes, I think the only way I can really do YouTube is to kind of do like this, just doing lives, not being like a content creator, but I can do like chit chats and updates. And I definitely still read, even though I have not been on YouTube. I do not read as much because it's no longer a numbers game. I've gotten better about DNFing books now that I'm not on BookTube. And I'm not commuting at this point. I'm not having to drive a lot of places, so I'm listening to less audiobooks. And so that definitely plays into it because the majority of my reading had been audio. Now it's starting to get a little closer, like, 25 to 75, with 25 being the physical reading. It's getting a little bit closer now that I'm at home. Yeah. So I've read over 112. I think I'm at like 115. I haven't logged a couple. I think I'm at like 115 books for the year so far. So I've definitely still been reading. But yeah, now that I've settled in with the PA stuff and figured out what I need to do for that and manage it, I'm doing physical therapy, and I also have started doing pottery. Pottery is my new hobby. I didn't expect it. I didn't really plan for it. There was just a free class, not a free class. It was like $5 class, a $5 pottery class at the library. They did have a free one that was, nope, that one was $2. Okay. I don't know why I'm just saying everything's free. It was not free. But pretty much, I think I've spent like maybe $20 on my hobby doing the glazing, and they do the firing for me. And it's been great. I got everyone's Christmas gifts done with it. I've made really, really cute things. I've already showed y'all some of them on my little post. This was my first pottery piece ever that I can remember. I might have done one as a child and forgot, but this is the only one I remember. And it has a little protruding nose and everything. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's a jack-o'-lantern, so I can put a candle under it and it'll light up. And then I have a ghost, and it's got a little purple sheen on it because I speckled some purple and green glaze, so you can see little bits of that on there. And then the green tongue and the green inside. And it's big enough to put a tea light as well. I haven't done lights under them yet, but I could. And then I also did those were both handmade, not with a pottery wheel. I also did this, which is a gift for my friend for Christmas. A Jack o' lantern. These are holes, so you can put a tea light under there. So I hope she likes that. I think it's really cute. One of the teeth like came off when I was doing it, but I think it just adds character. So there's my Jack o' lantern. And then I also have a mug that I did. Oh, I almost fell out of the chair. This is my mug, and this was on the pottery wheel. So that's the mug. And it's on the inside. This is my husband, the one that I made for my husband. Mine is purple and it's in the car floorboard right now. And I need to get some pictures of the Christmas presents that I made because I didn't take pictures of them before I gave them to them. So bad. But anyway, so that's pretty much what's been going on. I'm just writing. And I finished yesterday. I was like, I am in the editing mood. And so I finally tackled Final Vacation, which we wrote in like 2020. I finally did the final edits because our editors had it back to us for over a year. And so I finally did it and I published it today. The print. I published the print book today. So that will go live on Amazon within like the next 72 hours or so. And we do not have a release date yet for the ebook. I like to put out the paperback first so that readers don't have to wait because it has to be printed and shipped to you if you order it. So you don't have to wait if you get the print. And also it allows reviewers to leave reviews so that there can be some reviews up before the ebook. And the ebook is the one where you want to kind of care about the algorithm because more people are going to purchase the ebook than they will the paperback. So I'm never concerned about the paperback's rank. But the ebook, it stays on the like new releases thing for 30 days or something. So I want the rank to be okay in its categories so that it can do a little bit better. But all of the Becton Snow books are wide now. They're not on Kindle Unlimited. And I'm also moving all of my other books to wide. So if you haven't gotten the Maryville series by me and Stephanie, it came off of KU yesterday. So you won't be able to read it in KU. I'm not re-upping that. I'm going to unpublish from Amazon and then publish it through Draft to Digital because they have a royalty split option so that she can get her 50% automatically and I don't have to deal with it. And I like having that responsibility taken off of me because like even if I were to die, she would get her 50% and my husband would not have to do anything with it. She would just get it and he would get mine. So I really like that. I like the ease of it. I like that the chart will all be in one place. I would almost do it for myself, except for you have to publish your book on Amazon's platform directly if you want to run AMS ads. So I would like to be able to do that in the future for my solo written books because I can get 100% profit off of those. So it could actually make sense to do that. My prices are going up as well. I've made a lot of like new publishing decisions, not based off of what the current market expects and likes from indie authors, and more so what I want for my business. And it's very different business model than other indie authors in particular have. and different than a lot of readers who primarily get books on Amazon would expect or even want. And I'm okay with ticking people off. It doesn't bother me because I know that it's the right move for me. And it is a long-term strategy, not a short-term strategy. I see within the next 5 to 10 years, the successful indies changing their marketing plans to do what I'm planning to implement now. I've seen a lot of people moving to direct sales. I think that that's going to continue to be a thing, and it's going to become very, very normal and almost expected for most authors to be able to sell their books direct. And if that includes ebooks, that means they're going to have to be wide. So I'm going wide now while there is still a lot less competition because indies rule the world. We're taking over the traditional publishing market. And so we're getting all the money. But the publishing market still rules everywhere but Amazon. So the good thing about that is that those readers are not price sensitive. They're used to paying $12.99, $14.99 for an ebook, and like $26 for an adult paperback, which is a lot. But yeah, they're not as price sensitive. So I like that, and I would like to give some more attention to those platforms. I also want to learn how to market and appeal to other countries, starting with the English-speaking countries. I don't think that there's a lot of indie authors who differentiate their product based off of other markets unless they have translations, which I can't afford. But I could afford to, say, make my own objects cover if that's what one market prefers in a certain country. Or slight changes to a title or just the pricing, how you end the pricing, the psychology of that. We like to see 99 at the end of prices. If we see something that's 51, we'll be like, why is it priced like that? That's weird. So I just did that too with my pricing. The other thing that I've done for a long time when it comes to pricing is I have made all the other countries, at least the ones that are not typically English speaking, the lowest possible price it would let me to get the royalty that I wanted. And the reason why is because, one, I don't think that other countries should be having to pay $50 for a book, and because their currency is different, but their price of living is different too. So I want to be able to appeal widely to other countries because nobody is really tackling those markets, other than the very well-to-do indie authors that have translations and stuff. But I'm talking about trying to have strategies without having the means to do those bigger things like translations. So the pricing is one of them. So what I did this time is for my paperback, I not only made the prices for everywhere but the US lower so that it would be cheaper for them to get, but I also did the price endings thing for the psychology of it. Certain countries like certain endings with their numbers. So I did that. I had it where I saw what the VAT price was because that's what they're going to show them. And so I priced it to where the VAT price ended the way I wanted it to. So I'm literally going to be selling my ebook. The cheapest American equivalent is $4.40 for a paperback. To put that in perspective, if I was to get the printing cost, just the printing cost in US dollars is $2.30. So that means it's $2 after the printing cost. And then I only get 60% of that. Amazon takes the other as their little commission. So I'm making pennies in some of these countries off this paperback. Some people are very against AI. Some people are not. I see it as the future. It's coming. So, the other thing is like people want to use it as a moral high ground as far as staying away from it because they see it as a tool used to take away jobs and all this other kind of stuff. But every single invention that you can have will have that same effect. So I don't feel that way about it. I think that you can use AI for good, you can use it for bad. They find like human trafficking victims using AI, like reverse image searches and that sort of thing. So like it can be used for good things. I do not use AI to do my writing. Gotta make that very clear. But I do use it for other things. I use it for like personal growth by giving it my Clifton strengths and asking it questions, and it gives me responses based off of those. And I have a fairly clear understanding because I also am a patron to like Becca Syme. So I've taken all the courses and I pay for my monthly membership. Um, so I get a very good human basis of the knowledge. But I can't afford to, do a 45-minute session private coaching all the time. So I use AI for a lot of things to help me solidify my reasoning for things. It's kind of like how you would journal to yourself. I just do it in the AI so it can respond back to me. So I let it help me figure out the conversion rates and what I would actually be making with the prices that I'm having done, which I haven't actually done that part yet. That was the next thing that I was going to do. I did what is it, the equivalent, the US equivalent, what I'm charging in these countries with their currency. That's what I did so far. So anyway, I do want to get back to work. I don't talk to a lot of people, so I have a lot of words in me. So I figured I would get on here and talk, and I've been talking for 32 minutes straight. So I'm going to read my friend's messages. Oh, she sent me some voice clips. So I'm going to mute myself and listen to those. This is not a me talk the whole time type video anyway. So if anyone pops on here, you can ask questions, say hi. I know I haven't been here in forever. So I'm just here to like reconnect if anyone's around and sees the live stream. And then just talk about writing stuff as I'm doing it and what I'm excited about. I didn't even tell you what the pricing strategy was going to be. So my ebooks are going to be $9.99. So go get them now if you don't have them, because the Maryville, the first one is 99 cents right now, and the second one is $2.99, and it's been like that for well over a year. So go get it while you can, because it's not going to be that price like ever again. Yeah. Part of the reason why I'm upping the prices is because I'm going to go wide. They're not a price sensitive. They're used to seeing that price. And I am the publisher. I have to do all the work that a publisher does as one person. So I'm having to wear multiple hats. Especially when it comes to some of the brands, like with Becton Snow in particular. I've made all of the covers. I formatted all of the books. I did the final edits on all of the books. Of course, I have a co-author, so we write them together, and she goes through and she does her final edits. But then I do like the last round, just because I have the technical writing degree, and so it just makes sense for me to make the final decisions with like punctuation and stuff. That's all it really comes down to. That, and I format the book, so it works for us. I also am going to be doing, I also make my paperbacks like special edition from the get-go, but I'm also going to start selling some sprayed edge ones and like custom bookmarks to go with them and like book box stuff. And I might even do handmade pottery. That will be one of a kind, because if you've ever done pottery, especially as a beginner, you know that no piece is ever going to be exactly the same, and that you can't even guarantee that you will be able to make what you have the intention to make, because the pottery has a mind of its own. It is also an extremely time-consuming hobby. I have went and thrown on the wheel before and threw like 5 pounds of clay, and I was there for 2 hours and did not make a single thing because I would like over wet the clay, or I would make the wall too big and thin so it would wind up crumbling, or it wasn't centered well so one of the walls would fall when I tried to make it perfect. And yeah, I did really good the other day though. Like, I still would say that I'm a beginner, but because of the amount of time that I've put into it, I feel like I have sped the process along, and I'm getting closer to that intermediate stage. I feel like I'm in the middle of the beginner stage. Like, if you divided it into 3, I'm in the middle. And I say that because I've been able to make different things. And when I threw on Thursday, I was able to make pieces in 5 minutes. And I was like, what? Because I was able to center it well. It was like I knew what I was doing, and the clay behaved, and it was the perfect moisture level. And I was like, all of the things have come in. I feel like I know what I'm doing now. I think that I know what I'm doing when it comes to like half a pound of clay, because I also think I was using smaller balls of clay, and that might have helped. I had more control over it. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. And every piece that I threw wound up being a product that I was happy with. Yeah, one of the floors, when I took it off, I had to patch the bottom because I've had to learn. Since I am still a beginner, I need to make the bottoms thicker because sometimes they don't come off easy. And so you lose some clay and you get holes. That's not great. So anyway, but everything wound up turning into a product. So I had 4 pieces that I threw, and it was like less than 2 hours for the whole thing. You have to clean up in between, so that's why it takes so much time. But I did that, and they were bigger pieces than the first ones. But the time that I threw before that, I also threw 4 out of 5 attempts had an end product. So that was like super huge to be my 3rd time on the wheel. And then the time before that was when I spent hours just throwing and throwing and throwing and throwing, learning what not to do. And I got nothing out of that time. And then the time before that, I only threw once because it was for the class. So I'm still very much so a beginner. But when you also include things like glazing and like the creative things that you can do with the hand pottery, and just like the creative side of pottery and how you can make something that's just like a lump of clay. But then when you get into the decorating portion and you add stuff to it, it can become extremely unique. So I'm getting really good at that, and I'm proud of it because none of the pieces have turned out perfect. Like, even if you look at this one. So this was supposed to be like a light blue and then a dark blue. So it is, but because the clay is not completely flat, the glaze, when it's fired, it kind of like melts down the side. And so you can see some of the natural clay under, which I was kind of rushing with the glaze. So that could have been part of it, but I think some of it is just because it's curvy on here. And the inside is also curvy. But I was glad I stopped when I did, because if you look at the lip, the walls are very thin. I was very focused on being like a pro and getting the walls to be around the same thickness and trying to go all the way to the bottom before pulling up the walls. So, but yeah, I like this. I haven't drank out of it yet, but it'll definitely work. There's no holes. This was also using reclaimed clay. Or I don't know if this exact piece was, but I think it was because it has the speckling with the colors where you can see the little brown dots with the natural clay. So I reclaimed several pounds of clay. The where you take it out of the scrap bucket and then you dry it out and then you wedge it, which I still don't know that I do correctly. Um, but you do all that stuff before you can throw with it. So I did that. So I think that that's why it has that coloration because my handmade pieces do not, and they were made with fresh clay. So I think that that's the difference. But anyway, reclaimed clay is harder to work with, so I'm actually shocked that I got products out of it. But so in total, I have, I think it was 4 pieces that were thrown that have been completely finished. They've gone through the fire, all of that. And I did the glazes and all of that stuff. With thrown pieces. And then I have 2 that are waiting to be going through the first firing. I did the shaving down on the wheel and everything when I was there on Thursday, and then I have 4 new pieces. I have to wait for them to get leather hard, and then I can figure out what I want to do with them, how I want to decorate them, all that stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at with my pottery journey. But I'm really, really enjoying it. So anyway, I have talked for 42 minutes. That is entirely too long. And I'm also getting cold. So I'm going to turn off this fan, or rather, I will just shut my window because I think it's the window that's making me cold. Um, and I got to listen to these messages, but I am still here. So I'm just going to mute and listen to this and try to get some more work done. I am back. Okay. What I'm doing now is I'm going to use the chat thing to do the conversion rates on the actual royalty. So let's see what I'm making. And then I don't know. I don't know. So I did that, and for profit wise, so in the US I'm charging $9.99 for the paperback because these are smaller. These aren't full-length novels. This one is 90 pages long. But the reason why it's the 10.90, not 10.99, 9.99 is because I'd never expect to pay less than that on paperback, regardless of size. They are like full standalone stories, so you are getting what you asked for. They also have really, really spicy scenes, and so people pay more for those. And I have to take into account in-person sales because then I am having to pay for the printing cost for the author copy, which for this book is $2.30. So I have to pay that per copy, $2.30, off of that $9.99 price. And then I also have to pay for the shipping, which is basically the same price as the print. So that's like $5. And then so I might get $5 at an in-person event. Or if I am like doing signed copies and shipping them, then it's like another $3 to ship it. So that means that I might make $2 off of a signed copy, which is less than what I make when they do it online. So that's why it's priced that way, because I have to make those business decisions taking other factors into account. How much will it cost me? So just as far as people ordering off the internet, the $9.99 print book, I'll make $3.69. It would not be that high if it was not a shorter book, because the price of print would go up to like $4.64 or something like that. I think that's what one of my novels is. But then I did cheaper pricing for the other countries because I don't know where the printers are located. So I don't know if they're charging people like $20 shipping. So that's why. So for these other countries, like the UK, I'll make $1.29. And then a lot of the other ones is like 80 cents to that. And then there's like 5 countries that are in the 40-cent range. And then the least is Poland. I only make 17 cents off of a paperback. So, but yeah, I priced everything very low for that. I'm considering upping the price of the ebooks to $4.99. Because they are novellas. They're not short stories. You know, they take a lot of work. So yeah, I'm considering doing that. But the $2.99 is working so far as people are finding it, even though I'm only doing like newsletter marketing stuff. So I don't know. We shall see. But anyway, that's what's going on with that. What do I want to do now? So I can go ahead and list my arcs on Story Origin. So I think I will do that. I'm gonna make me like a little to-go list, to-do list. All right. To-dos. Arc on Story Origin. Okay. And then I need to set up ebook pre-order. I need marketing graphics. I need to figure out ebook prices and the library price. And possibly another print version. For extended distribution, because I only did Amazon distribution for this one. Because you make more money. So, yeah, I think that's what's left for that. And then I need to add it to functionally fictional, promo. I need to arrange swaps on newsletter. Got to add it to website and all that other stuff. There's a lot to do. All right, this thing's been going for an hour, and I mostly talked during all of it, and no one really came by to chat. So I think I'm just going to end it and save my voice, because I'll be tempted to keep talking, and then I will have a sore throat like my husband. He's been sick and called out of work the last 2 days. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go. Bye.